Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the September meeting of the Board of Regents Committee on Academic and Student Affairs. This is the first meeting of the new semester and the new academic year. We'll be embarking on, I'm sure, all sorts of adventures this year. So I welcome everybody. I want to introduce, we have a new Regent member of the committee, Regent Dell Cummings, who is not new to CSCU, but is new at this point to this committee. So welcome, Dr. Cummings.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you. First order, I hereby call the meeting to order. I'll ask the secretary to call the roll.
Thank you. Regent Bloom.
Present.
Regent James.
Present.
Regent Porth.
Present.
Regent Cummings.
Present.
And we have a quorum. I'd also just like to take a moment to recognize our ex officio member, Professor Sasanker. Thank you.
Good morning again. First item of business after the declaration of the quorum and the roll call is the approval of the minutes of the committee's meeting of June 6, 2025. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second. Any comments about the minutes? Seeing no comments, all those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Minutes are approved. As we journey around the state, the first stop is at Connecticut State. Dr. Heineck has her academic update, and then we will have the motions coming from CT State. Dr. Heineck.
Good morning, Regent Bloom and the ASA committee. CT State is excited to launch the fall semester, which began for us last Wednesday. We're excited to report that we are up 8% in headcount, up 7% in FTE. Some areas that I'd like to call out that we are seeing significant growth in is with our continuing students. We're seeing an 11% increase, a 7% increase with our adult market, and a 15% increase with our high school students who are taking dual enrollment on our campuses. Interestingly enough, when you look at our enrollment numbers, we also have a trend of our online market, fully remote, up 12% of students taking classes online. And we're still seeing about 33% of our students are 100% face-to-face. 44% of our students are in a blended model, both face-to-face and online courses, and 23% fully online. This year, we also had our first professional development day across our entire campus. As you know, we do have we're starting our third year, and we had 980 faculty and staff in our professional development day, in which we welcomed our new interim president, Dr. Christina Royale, and we spent a little bit of time overviewing our NECHI status. As many of you are aware, last spring, we did have a focused visit, team visit, and we will be appearing before the NECHI Commission on September 25th with a response to the team findings. Just a gentle reminder for our regents, there are a couple of areas of interest specifically around ACME, dual enrollment, shared governance, the budget, and strategic planning. This year, we do anticipate embarking on a new strategic plan process. The planning will start this fall under Dr. Royale and fully launch in the springtime. In addition to that, I want to just make folks aware that our full accreditation first self-study will be due in the fall of 2027 with our first site visit as a unified institution on the spring of 28. In addition to that, I just would like to call out a few things that we're working on this fall, including the launch of the new dual and concurrent enrollment policy, in which we will be running 5 regional summits with our school district partners, overviewing the new opportunities that exist as we expand the dual and concurrent market. We will also be offering a summit on Acme because this again is something we intend to come back to the board with, as we've talked about last year. That will be happening on Halloween, in which we will hopefully be able to continue to engage our faculty and staff on how we can continue to build on supporting our students who need additional support in college level work in English and in math. We are also working on an ELI Institute to hopefully be able to launch next fall. That meeting will begin in September with our multilingual faculty members. And lastly, naturally, with all of the new legislation on the federal level around short-term Pell, we will have a significant emphasis this fall, learning more about the opportunity there with our workforce development programs. And this ends my updates.
Thank you, Dr. Heineck. The first item of business from CT State is the series of discontinuations. There is a resolution on page 9 of our document, approving the discontinuations. What I'm going to do, I'd like a motion first to put this on the table for consideration. And then if there is a desire to break out any particular one of those items for separate discussion, I would accept a motion to do that. Otherwise, we will consider items 1 through 8, the discontinuations, all of which deal with the Business Office Technology Program, as one item, as they are in the resolution. Okay. So is there a motion to move this for committee consideration?
So moved.
Second. Okay.
Second.
Dr. Heineck, would you like to talk about these?
Sure. I will, also by Dr. Stacy Padone, as well as our new Dean of Business and Professional Studies, Dr. Nancy Pryther Johnson. I'd like to just overview that over the last decade, the administrative support positions have seen dramatic changes in the nature of the skill sets required for their work, resulting sometimes in lower levels of required educational preparation in order to secure employment in field, including trends towards hiring those with only a high school diploma and/or industry-recognized credentials. These factors have contributed to decline in our enrollment, including the onset of the evolution of artificial intelligence tools, telemedicine, electronic records, and new technology tools that have resulted in diminished demand for administrative support and clerical roles across Connecticut. We know that the average entry-level wage for this role is hovering between $20 and $25 an hour. And based on our academic program review data and analysis, student interest in enrollment has significantly declined across the business office technology programs offered through CT State since the pandemic. As a result, for programs that we are requesting discontinuation, the enrollment over the last 5 years was as little as 1 student and as high as 3 in some areas. We are looking to teach out this program and cease additional enrollment after this semester.
Okay. Any, before I ask any for questions or comments from the regents, is there any desire to separate any one of these items from the group?
Yeah.
Okay. Questions or comments from the regents about this resolution? Seeing none, the motion is on the table. If there's no discussion or comment, I will move that this for approval. This is approval of item 3B, the discontinuations in the business technology program at CT State.
So moved. Moved. Second.
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 Yep. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. The next group, Dr. Heineck, is the below thresholds. These do not require formal board approval, but we do have discussion. So if you'd like to start with the automotive technology program and what is happening with it?
Certainly, this is a new opportunity, and I am joined by two of our professors, Dr. Vertucci, as well as Professor Fuller are both here to speak to this, but this is an opportunity to add additional practicum opportunities at Honda and Acura. I don't know if either of you would like to speak to this, but feel free to if you have a desire to.
Certainly, this is Professor Fuller. This is an opportunity to add a different credential within our existing program. Some of our students have the ability now more quickly to get out and get employed. While they're taking this program, they're doing paid internships, and the vast majority of these students will be able to continue at the dealerships full-time upon graduation. So it's another level of a credential that we can provide to them.
Any questions or comments?
I have a question in terms of CSCU's, particularly the community colleges' involvement with auto technology in to beginning. I remember at some point when JM Wright Tech was I would say reinvented. There was some discussion, frankly, of Norwalk Community College taking over that program instead of it remaining part of the CT Tech program, and that didn't happen. And I was just wondering if any of those discussions have reemerged. And I know it's not directly related to this particular item, but it reminded me of that conversation that happened many, many years ago. So I don't know if you.
I do recall that conversation a number of years ago. In the interim period, as you all know, the technical high schools have become their own entity. We do partner with many of the technical high schools with our dual and concurrent enrollment process. In fact, we have incoming students that started with us this past week that came from some of those schools, such as Bullard Havens. So we are always willing to work with any of the community colleges in the system. If there is a desire to bring another automotive program in, there is one existing at Naugatuck Valley. One of the roadblocks, I believe, is the cost. It's extremely expensive to build out a lab and have the space to do the automotive technology hands-on. So that may be one of the reasons. We are doing a great job of placing students in dealerships all over the state of Connecticut currently. So I have not heard any more discussion about having a program at Norwalk.
Okay. Thank you. I think this is an excellent idea, these partnerships. It's a significant opportunity for our students.
Yeah. Ira, this is Rick Porth. I want to
Yes.
agree with Juanita. I, in recent months, have been working with some people trying to help them find jobs, and I know there continues to be significant interest in jobs in auto mechanics and related fields. And if I understand this recommendation, one potential impediment for many people is the ability to earn money while they're going through this program. And I know that was a basic tenet of the Honda program to begin with, but any effort to help more so that participants, students can earn while they're learning, I think would really strengthen the program. So I just wanted to say I think this is a really important part of our offerings, and any effort to strengthen this is a good thing in my opinion. Thanks.
Dr. Fuller, Professor Fuller, any comments about that? Professor Vertucci? And we can't hear you, Professor Vertucci. Dr. Heineck, do you want to?
I would just say that we are very interested in continuing to grow our New Haven campus with automotive as well as supporting our Naugatuck Valley program. In addition to that, we are in conversations with the CTEC system about how we can work more collaboratively together to bring more opportunities to access automotive training in the future. So I do know with the new dual and concurrent enrollment language that passed the board in June that you'll be seeing more opportunities for that type of partnership moving forward. And we are having that conversation, our college and their system.
Any other comments about this item? Dr. Heineck, you're not off the hook yet. Human services programs.
So this is a follow-up from our meeting last time. This is just moving forward with, instead of having separate degrees for human services, we have moved to a general degree with concentrations. And that was really in response to the APP process, similar to what happened with criminal justice.
So if I understand what this, there is a common core
Correct.
for all the students, and then they can branch out to different options after the common core.
Correct. Yes.
Any other questions or comments about this group of programs?
All right, I just want to say I continue to appreciate the efforts on the part of CT State to be timely and proactive in addressing in the offerings that they provide based on what we learn each year with regard to enrollment and so forth. I do appreciate this. Thank you.
Okay. Finally, Dr. Heineck, the promotion tenure recommendation sabbatical, which doesn't require approval, but you may want to tell us a little bit about it.
I think the list that you were provided was a list of people who were not on the original list. So it did indicate a number of faculty members who should be on the list for approved sabbaticals
Okay.
and promotion and tenure.
This is basically an update of the
It's just an update.
former.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions of Dr. Heineck before we let her escape from the Regents? Dr. Heineck, thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
We now move to Central. Is Dr. Costello here?
Yes, I'm here.
Where are they? Welcome, Dr. Costello. The academic update.
Sure. So I'll share a couple things. We are trying to move to not have any interims in front of our deans. So we welcomed a new dean for our School of Education, John Burrill, who recently was the superintendent in Brookfield. So we are excited to have him on board. We also just welcomed, I think 8 days ago, our new dean for our School of Engineering, Science, and Technology. His name is Shudong Jia. He is from the California state system. So we are excited to have him on board and jumping right into the school year. Our enrollments overall are up. We're looking forward to the 3rd week freeze. We do have our highest number of students who are living on campus in more than 12 years. We reopened a dorm that was taken offline that we used for swing space for offices when we were remodeling some other spaces on campus that now are complete. So we put that dorm back to being a dorm and was ordering beds the night before some of the move-in as well. But we are excited to have as many students living on campus. We also just launched living learning communities that are associated with each of the schools. So the dean's office, along with appropriate faculty are leading those living learning communities. And we just had a kickoff event yesterday and packed the room, which was very exciting to see the students with all of the faculty, staff, and the administration as well. Also, I'll mention this summer we were able to, as part of our commitment to student success and our ongoing implementation of Slate, our CRM that we use for enrollment, but we also use another instance for student success. We have been working on that for a while now, and we've integrated it throughout our advisors as well as staff. And now we're looking this year to roll it out to more faculty use as well. So this summer we launched Slate Student Success Faculty Leaders. And so we had 8 leaders across that represented all of the schools, and they worked diligently this summer, and they the idea is they are now going to be continuing their work into the fall and be train the trainer model, and then continue to launch another cohort as well so that we can continue to roll that out, especially since that is tied to our enhancement with advising and the communication across the board, but also rebranding of our early alert system as well. So we are excited about that. The last thing that I'll just share is that we do have our second annual fall conference that this year is keeping higher education relevant, impactful, and innovative, with an AI theme to it again as well. So we have saved the date, and if possible, I'll be sending to the Ainsley and the team to be able to invite others to that as well, because we have our registration is open now, and so I can send that along too. So those are some of the updates for now, but I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Before we get to the questions, do you want to talk about your promotion and tenure recommendation, which does require committee approval?
Sure. So Victoria was on the list for promotion only. She went up for promotion and tenure, so it was an oversight of not listing her on the tenure list because she was already listed on the promotion list. So that was an oversight on our part.
Okay, so this is just
both.
This is a correction, basically, of
Yes.
what was okay. Is there a motion to approve the promotion and tenure coming from Central?
So moved.
Second? Nobody?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry, I didn't realize I
Opposed?
was on mute.
Oh. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion's carried. Now come back to you, Provost Costello. Any questions from the regents for Provost Costello? Seeing none, Provost Costello, you're off the hook. Thank you very much for your report and for the correction.
Thanks.
We now move to the western part of the state. Provost Hagedis.
Thank you. Good morning, Regent Bloom. Good morning,
Welcome.
Regents.
Good morning.
I've part of my updates. I have a few points. Enrollment headcount is up about 3.5% as of 7:26 a.m. this morning. But I'd rather focus more on the undergrad FTE. We tend to look more at the FTE than headcount. Our FTE is up 6.1%, and our graduate a little under 1%. This reflects a strategic focus on us trying to help advise students build a full-time schedule. And we've been doing that for several years, and I think those numbers reflect some stability and growth in that area. Our opening gate ceremony was last Friday. It's a really nice event at WestCon. It's the second time I've been a participant with that. We welcomed our new first year and transfer students. It's a great event to see our students walk down White Street and actually through the gates on our campus, and then join the families for a brief ceremony and then some games and popcorn afterwards. And cornhole. We thank Chancellor Maduko. He also joined us, and thank his attendance at that event. This summer we've begun, I've mentioned it, I believe, before, begun to invest in the Grade DI platform, and this led to a 2-day workshop a few weeks ago with 40 plus participants from across various divisions at WestCon. And I wanted to raise your awareness of this here because it has a direct impact on some of the work that we'll be bringing forward this year in terms of our academic programming. It's an important effort for us to look very carefully at our new programs and also our existing programs. It's a collaborative effort. It was really great to have so many different perspectives in the room, not just our academic department chairs and deans, but also enrollment management, our finance folks, marketing, and others. So that whole effort is looking at our existing and potential future program offerings from a market insights, career opportunities, as well as a financial efficiency perspective as well. So as a result of that and ongoing work, it will help us in bringing forward modifications or new programs in areas of student demand, as well as some accelerated programs this year, and one of which is on our agenda today. Our new FYE course, Uni 101, began for all incoming freshmen. There'll be a version for our transfer students as well, for those who wish to take that course as part of our new Gen Ed framework. And it's also coupled with, we're administering for the first time the BCSSE survey, beginning colleges. So it's about student engagement, just to know more about where our students are from, where they're at, their expectations of us and their experiences. So this will help us, again, be more data-driven in meeting the needs of our students. So that was administered just this week. And finally, too much relief, we submitted our NECHI focused evaluation report on August 22nd as planned. I want to particularly thank Region Bloom and all of our regions who gave us feedback, critical feedback during the summer. We think it's a robust progress report in terms of progress made, but also an honest reflection of challenges and works in progress going forward into the future. Our scheduled date is October 6th and 7th, and Chancellor Maduko and Chair BOR Chair Marty Guay will also be participating in that visit. President Bernal has been interacting very closely with President Burks, the team lead, and we are preparing and we'll be ready on October 6th. So again, thank you for your support in that, and as things progress, we'll be giving updates both here and at the full board.
Do you want to say anything about the grant, Provost?
Which grant? Sorry, Region Bloom.
The grant you just
There are so few at the moment.
Didn't you just have a substantial grant from one of the foundations?
Well, we'll be, Dr. Diamond, I think, is referring to possibly what's coming up with teacher residency. That we'll be hosting that in a few weeks' time, but that's for all of our institutions.
Okay. I just want to say that I think the response to NECHI, I think, was very well done, and I think it addresses it addressed the issues that NECHI had raised in its prior very effectively. And I think the other thing that is that there is now sustained leadership at Western, which was one of the issues that the NECHI had raised in its. We have a new president, obviously, and we have a quote permanent provost, however permanent and whenever is in those positions. So I think this is a big, this is a strong step forward. Do you want to say anything about we mentioned the new accelerated BBA MA option?
Yes,
which is below threshold, does not require approval, but.
Right, yeah, and this is one of a few more that we've been working on. We've got very successful BBA program with various tracks in finance, accounting, cybersecurity, management, and the faculty. And this is more of a collective effort within the School of Business. Have worked on pathways from those programs into our MBA, and so that is going to help. We've already begun with our existing students, those who are seniors this year or juniors this year. It'll be a way for them, for some of them, to be on an accelerated pathway, so we can also retain our students who want to be part of that program. And this, again, like all accelerated programs, offers it to help offer both programs in a timely and cost-effective way. It saves them money, and it also helps us retain those students who want to be on those pathways and complete both degrees in 5 years' time. It's much needed in the region as well. We note that in the report, particularly within the Greater Danbury region, and there is a lot of connections there and support. I'm also joined by, I think he was here, our new Dean of the AMSL School of Business, Dr. Seemak Shojai, who joined us this summer in July, and he's here. Thank you. I didn't know if you were going to be here or not, Seemak, but it's great to see you and also introduce you to some of our regents as our newest hire in the School of Business. So if you have any questions for us, we're both here to address that. Thank you.
I certainly want to welcome the new Dean of the School of Business to CSCU, and we look forward to what comes out of the school, to seeing what comes forward. Regent James.
Professor Provost Hegedus, I just want to say thank you for your sustained efforts in getting us to this point. I am so excited about the future of Western. I thought the report, the response to NECHI was very well done. I have a personal relationship with Western. It was one of the first of the Connecticut State Community Colleges when I was head of the foundation that I had the opportunity to meet with Jim Schmotter, and actually he was on my board when I was at the foundation. And it really, I actually had the opportunity to speak at one of your graduate commencements. So I am really, I'm very thankful for your efforts and very excited about the future of Western. So I could not be more pleased. And I know you have put in yeoman's effort in this process, and really very, very, very congratulations to you and the entire team at Western.
Thank you, Regent James. That means a lot. I really appreciate that. And we're actually going to we decided this year to go back to having a separate graduate commencement ceremony next year on campus. So we'll be looking for speakers.
Do you want to say anything about the emeritus appointments?
I think Regent Porth had his hand raised.
I'm sorry, Regent Porth. Yes, my apologies.
Chair Bloom, I'll make this quick, but I want to follow up on Juanita's comments. I really think that obviously the work we're doing with NECHI is among the most important things on our agenda at this point in time. And I also was very encouraged with the latest report. I want to say again, I think this goes without saying, please know that the Board of Regents wants to support this effort in whatever way we can. It's really important. But it does appear that WestCon, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, has turned a corner, and that things are looking much better with regard to NETCHI. And I'll just finish with a quick question. I know we've gotten information on this before. You alluded to this earlier in your remarks, but please tell us once more what the rest of this process looks like, and when we might know for sure how this will finish.
Certainly, yeah. And I just want to also note that your thanks extends to a great team of people here. There's a huge amount of loyalty and commitment, some of whom are on the list of emeriti, that we've got people who have been very invested in this work as well. And it's a great team. The next step is it's pretty parallel to a regular comprehensive visit in terms of having a site visit. That's a much smaller, it's really just focused on the major areas, and they will be focused, they've told us, on finance and assessment. Those are the two key areas. And so there are 3 people in that team. Dr. Burks is president of Plymouth State. He's the lead team. And then there are 2 others, one in finance, one in assessment. They'll be here with us. We'll have focused meetings with specific groups on the Monday, October 6th. And then with the president, myself, the board chair, and the chancellor on the Tuesday morning. Following that, they write their report up. There's time to review any factual errors. That then goes to the commission, and then the commission will make their final decision at the March meeting. So it really is, it's a 2-year cycle. That's why we had no wiggle room at all. So it's pretty intense from the date that began with the letter in March 24, to then going through the work to make the change, to then report it out, to then have the review, and then for it to be back with the NETCHI board, full board, for a decision. So during that time, as you know, there's only so much that can be shared, right? So the final decision is with the NETCHI commission, but we'll be sharing what we can informally or formally. But it's pretty much a similar cycle. There's always a time to rebut, to clarify any factual points. But something that's been made very clear to us is that those are the 2 main focused areas. And so there won't be like major town halls. There'll be specific people, chairs, deans, assessment folks, finance team, who have been involved in those 2 areas for the specific meetings. So that's a critical next step, report, and then final decision.
Right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Any other Provost, I could ask anything you mentioned, the emeritus appointments. Anything else you?
Those are 3 faculty that we gave emeritus status to during the spring semester. At the end, there will be a couple more staff members who have also we've awarded just since then. So who we've also managed to there's a hire as well. So we've been successful in finding a new director of institutional research this summer, another important role as it relates to assessment, as well as a new director of library as well. So they'll be coming next month, which is catching up. Sorry about that.
Assessment seems to be something, from my own experience with middle states, that they are almost always focused on.
Yes, I mean it's a critical component of our academic programs, right? And I think certainly some programs for us all lead in that area because they seek national accreditation. This is not so AACSB or other areas are always driven by student learning outcomes. Are we using rigorous assessments? Are our students learning what we expect them to learn? So that's at the heart of it, as well as the non-instructional forms of assessment in terms of student support. So And in the new, there are, I don't know if you've seen them, there are some proposed revised standards. They're going to change next year. So we're all going to be subject to a more revised set of standards, which I think is a good thing. And they're out there for comment at the moment. And there'll be a series of other workshops, but they're you know, again, assessments at the heart of that. And it really is up to us how we design, how we think about assessing in instructional and non-instructional forms. They don't prescribe you shall use these forms of assessments. That's really up to us with our unique programs and offerings and our approaches to it.
Any other questions of Provost Haggadas?
Yeah.
Comments?
No.
I just want to again second or third what Regent James and Regent Porth have said. There is definitely, I think, a very strong feeling that Western is back on the move, and things are, things are happening that need to be happening. So again, congratulations to you and President Bernal on what you've been accomplishing.
Thank you. I appreciate your support. We all do.
Eastern, Provost Wilson.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
I want to say, I just want to welcome you. This is your first appearance before this committee, so we're happy to meet you and welcome you to CSCU and the board committee.
I'm excited to be here. I've been here at Eastern for almost 2 months, so it's been a really lovely summer of getting oriented and getting to meet some students. We had some students on campus this summer through summer bridge programs and a STEM scholars program. Once everyone came back, we instituted a new tradition to kick off the semester, our Light the Way event, which was a wonderful evening event with welcoming all of our first year students as well as a number of returning students. Over the summer, we signed an exciting partnership with Liberty Bank and the town of Windham to establish a small business resource center, and that's being led by our Dean of the School of Education and Professional Studies. So we're really looking forward to seeing that kick off later this fall. As you all know, last year Eastern had a new president who was doing a lot of listening and learning around campus, and we are now transitioning that work into a strategic planning process, which will be kicking off this fall. So we'll expect to be sharing some updates on that. We're also going into the second year of a new general education curriculum, our Eastern Liberal Arts core, and really offering the full suite of courses that are part of that program, as well as doing some early assessment so that we can continue to make sure that the program is doing what we want with our students. And perhaps most exciting thing coming up this month is that our nursing simulation lab over at Windham Hospital will be officially open. I got a behind the scenes tour last week, and it is a truly remarkable space, and it's going to just really give our students the skills that they need to walk directly out into the profession and serve a tremendous need out here in the eastern part of the state. So we're very excited that that's going to officially be opening in a few weeks, and then we'll have students starting rotations there later this semester. There's a lot of momentum that I've inherited here in academic affairs, and so we are just ready to get going. The end of the update.
Questions or comments of our new provost?
Just to say welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. We look forward, Dr. Wilson, to working with you as the committee looks forward to working with you as we go forward. We have a veteran provost to hear from, Dr. Farrar, as opposed to a brand new provost.
Good morning. Good morning again. Happy new academic year as well. So to give you just some brief updates, what's been going on at Charter Oak. We are really excited about our enrollment this year. So just to put in perspective, over the past, to give a 3-year brand as well, because we want to look at long-term, we had 15% enrollment growth 2 years ago, 15% enrollment growth last year. And then this year, we are, if you compare to same time this time last year, as of last Friday. I'm sorry, I can't be like Provost Hedges where I can get 726 this morning. I'll try that next time. But we're up 24.3% in FTE. And as you may remember, for Charter Oak, we actually work in terms. So actually, our census date comes in October. But even if you look over at the census date, over a month from now, we're already up. Our FTE is over 14.4% higher than what's there next month. So we anticipate that we'll be up somewhere in the 20 to 25% range. So that's great, 15, and then 20 to 25%. Our headcount is actually up about 18.1%. So we were still able to gather a little bit more in terms of adding more students that go full time. When I first started here at Charter Oak, we were around 20% full-time students, then 25%. We're now at about a third of our students are full-time, which is now in alignment with public online colleges. So we're really proud of where we're at in terms of our enrollment. In particular, too, we're looking at inflow and outflow with our new students. Our new student baccalaureate, we're up 14.3% in FTE. Our new masters, now again, we don't have a robust lineup of masters. We are growing it. We're up 147.6% in FTE in our master's side. A lot of that has to do with, one, thank you to the board for their approval of our new master's in curriculum and instruction, and we are continuing to grow our current master's degrees. So we're looking forward to coming to you this semester with another master's degree to add to our portfolio, in addition to another baccalaureate degree that we'll have. So that'll be coming later on this semester. But to let you know that work that we've done in the past has translated into these numbers today. And then, finally, just another piece as well. On our non-credit side, we were very fortunate that the state was able to get us some dollars to expand our AI Academy. As you may know, we began our AI Academy in January of this year. We already have over 2,000 people that have gone through the AI Academy, and for a small state, that's not insignificant. So the state took notice and was able to give us some dollars for expansion. So we'll be doing some of the curation of that content this fall and doing our formally launching our expansion in the spring on our non-credit side. And obviously online, that continues to be an area of growth and opportunity. It's great to hear the numbers from CT State. If you haven't actually seen, according to NPR, they did a study. Those that attend fully online have now surpassed those that attend fully on ground nationally. Hybrid is still the number one, right? But fully online has now surpassed fully on ground nationally. So we're continuing to see that wave, and we'll continue to ride it. And then from always looking ahead 2 to 3 years, we always, the Wayne Gretzky quote, you go where the puck is going, not where the puck is. We're always looking at 2 to 3 years in advance as well. And, if you may have read the Stanford University study that came out last week about the impact of artificial intelligence on entry-level jobs, about a 13% impact. I actually contacted our folks at the Connecticut Department of Labor. They actually sent me over some of the numbers, and it's about a 16.5% impact here in the state of Connecticut. Now, some of that could be general slowdown, some of that could be AI. It's probably a mix, but we are seeing that as well. So really our goal, what we started a few years ago and continue to do now, is how can we differentiate ourselves, in particular at Charter Oak, with our graduates to be more resistant, and so that they can get those entry-level jobs as they start to decrease in numbers. So our goal is continuing to build that future of work student within our curriculum. Obviously we started that in fall of 23 when we built AI literacy as a general education requirement. But we're now continuing to build it within the curriculum for each of our majors and scaffold it and stack it in there as well. So again, to hope, and also on the human skill side as well. So to try to build those graduates so that when there are less entry-level workers, they still come to Charter Oak for our graduates. That's really our goal. With that, those are the few updates over here at Charter Oak.
Thank you, Provost Farrar. Questions or comments of Provost Farrar?
Congratulations. It's exciting.
Keep up the good work. Yep.
There seems to be, I think some of the studies are basically, saying that we need to graduate students who will be flexible because their work what they will be doing may change significantly over, in the forthcoming period. And, in the legal world, AI is taking over some of the things that young associates used to do, first and second year associates, in contract review and other types of things. So that is a different kind of impact. But clearly, the workplace will be evolving.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I actually said that this is a theory actually I had last week. I'm trying to meld it through a little bit more. Is we always talk about T-shaped students and T-shaped employees, right? That's actually dead. That's no longer relevant. Because just being an expertise in one area of a skill is not going to cut it, right? I'm working through the philosophical piece, but I'm calling them H-shaped students. So H-shapes mean that you actually have a technical skill expertise and you have a human skill expertise, communication, leadership, and then a little bit of a broad-based knowledge. But then what's on the upper half of the H? The upper half of the H on the human side is about learnability, adaptability, right? Because your job is going to change. And then on the technical side, being able to reskill and upskill on your technical side. Again, that's where us as colleges and universities within CSCU can play a role with. On the bottom part of the H is what we do before graduation, and part of the H on top. And then the upskill and the reskill, and that's our non-credit divisions and whatnot. It's about a student students are going to we're going to have lifelong customers in essence.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions of Dr. Farrar? Thank you very much. Southern, Dr. Irwin.
Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. I like the sound of lifelong customers.
Yeah.
So I'll just give some brief updates. We welcomed 1,350 new students to campus for our new student convocation and rite of passage through Founders Gate, which is such a wonderful event, on August 25th. That's up 19% over fall 24. Our head count right now is 8,805, which excludes early college, up 3.1% year over year. FTA is up 5.6%, and we're expecting to enroll more than 1,800 early college students. The census for that comes kind of early, so we have to keep on counting past census, but that's our expectation. Some exciting things that have happened recently. Dr. Emma Cross brought 2 students on the National Geographic research boat in Iceland this summer to do eDNA studies of organisms in the water. Dr. Mariah Kelly took students to the UN Ocean Conference in France this summer, and they were able to get on the OceanX boat. The students and faculty which the co-founder of OceanX, Vincent Perebone, is now faculty on our campus. This is hot off the presses, so it's kind of unofficial. There'll be more details to come. We just received a new NSF grant. My colleagues Christine Broadridge and Matthew Engeron and myself. It's called EPIC, Enabling Partnerships to Increase Innovation Capacity, and in regular language, it's essentially designed to create industry partnerships for our students. So this will also support CT State, so I promise to give more details moving forward. We're excited to launch the Institute on Social Work Leadership as specified in House Bill 7202, which seeks to integrate social work services into law enforcement agencies. We're really excited about this. The Institute will be on campus. We have been having annual conferences, but we'll be able to increase this. And I want to just mention that Central is also a recipient of funding from this House bill. And I'm actually hoping that maybe we can have some integration between the two. Perhaps they'll want to come to our conference and we can visit them as well. This is something that's a little bit on the credit side, but also impacts non-credit. So Dr. Miaowei Wang, in collaboration with Amy Fest at our Office of Workforce and Lifelong Learning, have awarded 113 new micro-credentials on the credit side for Southern students who aren't world language majors, but who have proficiency in language. So essentially, if they're taking a certain amount of language and they meet proficiency, they can get badged, which shows this. So we're calling it functional fluency. These badges can be placed on their resume and show employers this functional fluency. And I want to point out that this includes kind of the traditional Spanish, French, Italian, but it also includes proficiency in medical Spanish, which has been extremely popular both on the credit and non-credit side. And it allows clinicians, individuals from the community, but also students who will go out into the community to have kind of the right terminology for both therapeutic and kind of medical in general. Spanish, which really contributes to the community. So I'll leave it at that.
Questions or comments?
And it's very intriguing and innovative. I think that's would be interested in hearing much more about it as it progresses. So.
Have you had any, as a only R2 university, have you seen any direct impact yet from what the federal government has been doing in the funding area?
So there's good news and there's bad news. So we did lose a large NSF grant, our LSAMP grant, which was Lewis Stokes Minority Alliance Minority Participation in STEM. That grant was lost. And it wasn't just ours, it was all the four-year institutions. We each had a cohort. And I'm really, really proud to say that each of us, and I think Eastern might have been the lead on this, have found funding to continue to scholarship those students and keep the programming running. I also personally, with a couple of colleagues, lost an NEH grant that was designed to infuse ethics and community responsibility and history into STEM. We are right now, actually, our president is testifying on Monday about this. So we are kind of telling the legislature how this has impacted us. So there has been some loss. On the other hand, there have been some new grants. One of our faculty in philosophy has a new NEH grant, and then we just received this new NSF grant. So I can't characterize for you what the landscape is. It seems to not be clear. What we are doing, and that's why this EPIC grant is so useful, is we are pivoting immediately to industry supported kind of collaborations. We have been doing this already with research funding to keep our students in experiential learning in places where we perhaps would have used grant funds before, right? So we're trying to kind of create many pathways to allow students to do this work and prepare them via experiential learning to work in the community. So it's been a bit up and down. We are kind of diversifying the portfolio and we're just keeping moving.
Any other comments or questions? Provost Irwin. Thank you, Provost Irwin. We now get to the system. Dr. Diamond, our Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs.
Good morning, everyone. Before I talk about my few bullet points here, I just really want to acknowledge and welcome Regent Cummings and also Provost Wilson. I think that I talk a lot about my role as supporting the academic vision of the campuses and aiding that process through the system office, but I want everyone on this call to know that I lean back really heavily on the regents and on the provost. So I just want to tell you how excited I am to have two new people that I can reach out to and ask for advice or ask for data. Usually it's in the 11th hour that I'm calling out to people. So I'm very excited about our team, and that team is all encompassing in the individuals on this call today. So wonderful to hear all of the campus updates and really thinking about those first days on your campuses and the energy. And now I want to pivot into the really hard, sometimes bureaucratic, mostly bureaucratic work that we do here at 61 Woodland, aided by all of you on this call. And I wanted to highlight the fact that we held our first, definitely my first, and I think all of your first, the provost retreat on August 29th. And we are in the business of getting things done, and we do not have the opportunity very often to reflect, to sit with each other and really have an open, honest dialogue about what it is we're doing and how the system office can aid the provosts in process, make things easier. So we spent a lot of time, and a special thanks goes out to Kayla Davis, who sat with me at tables going through paperwork on pages after pages. And this exercise, the main exercise of the provost retreat, was really looking for efficiencies, reducing redundancies. And this was line by line editing of our program approval forms. And we spent all summer, and it culminated with a lot of good feedback at the provost retreat. So we will be sharing all of those forms with the region so that our packets will start to look different. It will take a while to grandfather the old forms out, but the new ones are coming. And I know that that seems like such a little thing to be excited about new forms, but the sheer amount of time and confusion that has happened on our campuses that just took a little bit of manpower to figure out. I think we are well on our way. So yes, I am excited about forms. The other thing that I want to talk about is we're standing up a couple of committees that you will hear me give updates about throughout the academic year. And the first one that I want to highlight, obviously, is the dual and concurrent enrollment advisory committee. The policy was passed on June 26th. And so now I'm reaching out to the campuses to form and then charge the advisory committee. These are the people that are going to be not only giving voice to what is happening on the campuses, what procedures they are engaging in, how the policy can help or how the policy is challenging to the work that they are trying to do. Convening these usually one or two professional warriors on each of these campuses is a really exciting opportunity for collaboration and support from the system office to these individuals. So we're really looking forward to that. And as we go through, especially this semester, I'm going to be updating a lot on policy. This is going to be a policy heavy year, I think. So there will be more updates as we move forward, but I'm going to end there and just say that I'm really looking forward to this semester and this whole academic year.
Questions of Dr. Diamond?
No question, but a comment. Thank you. I absolutely appreciate frankly, the bureaucracy that is imposed upon us on any public institution because of all of the disclosure requirements. And it is much appreciated for you to take a look at how to meet whatever our compliance requirements are, but at the same time, a more rational, streamlined view, because it is, I always complain about going through these packets. I like when we get to the heart of what we're trying to do and why we're doing it and what, but then to go through the forms and so your effort is much appreciated and the outcome is, I'm anxiously awaiting.
Thank you.
I'd also like to thank Ainsley for making herself available. I've met with her a couple times already, and it's really helped me come up to speed on what's going on. So I know your day is hardly containing, chunks of time that you're saying, what shall I do now? So I know you had to put some things aside to make room for me, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Dr. O'Day Stevens.
Good morning, everyone. I just have a few updates from the enrollment and student success side of the house. First and foremost, I wanted to give an update on the Student Advisory Committee and SAC. As everyone knows, our two student regents from last semester have moved on, sadly. It's kind of hard when our students move on, but I'm very proud of them. Our one regent has transferred to the University of Connecticut, Stamford, and she's doing very well. I just spoke with her the other day, Cheyenne, and then Luis is in his last semester and really needs to focus on his internships, so has stepped down from being the chair of SAC. We've done a recruitment It is no small feat to find students that have the time and the availability to be on SAC and also to support them through that cycle. So we have 2 students that are interested in serving as chair and vice chair. We will be having our first meeting on September 19th, and we will be doing the presentation of the candidates to the rest of the students that are serving on SAC across the system. It will be an uncontested election at this point. So there is a student from Northwestern Community College and a student from Central Connecticut State University. And so they will be presenting their candidacy, and the students will vote the students in. And I am hoping that they will be candidates that the students agree to. And then from there, they will serve on the Board of Regents. At this juncture, that is where we are at. We have, of all of our campuses, right now we are waiting on 2 more campuses to send us reps. The goals for the meeting will be to set up goals for the semester. They will introduce themselves on that meeting. And then the 2 regents will then be meeting with me to set strategy for the semester for the student regents across the system. And they will be at the next board meeting. So that's the plan for SAC. The next area that I wanted to bring up was Common App, which is our Connecticut automatic admission program. It's our graduating Connecticut high school seniors that have either a 3.0 weighted GPA or a 2.7 unweighted GPA, and they're eligible upon application to be automatically admitted to participating universities. And this program waives the application fee, our student essays, and recommendation letters for participating institutions. It's different for our specialized programs. They have to do a separate application for those. Our 25-26 season is launching next week, and we have our counselor webinar next week that I'll be presenting at for our high school partners across the state. And so that's on the 10th of September. And we have sent several emails out to our local high school partners. Currently, we have 70 high school counselors registered for that webinar next week, and we do that presentation with our CAP partners. So that'll be next week. Last year, nearly 71% of students who used our CAP program, they chose to apply to one of our CSCU 4 regional universities. We had over 1,966 high school seniors statewide deposited at Central, Eastern, Southern, and Western for this upcoming year. So for this past fall. So the program really does work, and it'll be interesting to see going forward if that number increases this coming fall of 26. So we will measure those numbers and report back on those numbers for this coming fall. And the last area that I wanted to report on was our career services directors met this summer on August 6th. We had a summit for our career directors, and we brought them together across the system to do some collaboration and share resources. And outcomes from that was a really wonderful day for our career services directors across our system. We explored platforms that could help our campuses. We discussed what was working, what areas they really wanted to focus on going forward. Some of the outcomes that we're going to follow up with and go forward looking at is we're looking at platforms that can assist students with resumes, interviews, and negotiation strategies. They're looking at a platform, various platforms that are out there right now that are assisting students with that. The long-term sharing of data related to student usage of their spaces. We're looking to do a marketing campaign of our student success closets. All of our campuses have these amazing dress for success. We call them dress for impress success closets across our campuses. We're looking to do some marketing campaigns for those. We need to work on our tracking for our first destinations after graduation. And we also need to look at how we are linking our NACE competencies in our academic programs across our systems. So those are our next steps with our career services leads across our system, but they really found the day really valuable. And thank you to Vicki Bizzuto for collaborating with me on that day. We had a really wonderful day with the leads, and they really found it very valuable. So those are my 3 updates that I thought that the board would really find interesting.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Questions of Dr. Stevens?
I just want to comment on how valuable, exceptional our student regents have been in terms of their thoughtfulness, their insight, their participation. They truly represent their constituents well. I look forward to meeting our new student regents, but I have been incredibly impressed and very much learned a lot from the ones that I have had the opportunity to work with since my term on the board. So that is an excellent practice that we have that we really must continue and provide them with whatever support we can to enable them to do this work, because it is very time consuming and it's a huge commitment on their part to participate in this work.
They get so much out of it too, and the learning that they get. But your support is really important during that process too, as other regents. And that was something they all commented on. Luis really and Cheyenne talked to these two candidates about the benefits they received from it. And I think that's why they finally chose to step up and do these roles, because of what they got out of it. And I'm really excited about these candidates that are coming forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ira, I wanted to say one thing real quick as well. We're aware of a lot of work going on to strengthen our retention and success for our students. And I just want to say thank you for that. And again, that's something I believe the board really wants to support going forward. And I think we've made some important steps in recent months, and I thank you for that. Also appreciate the work on career services. When I talk to our young people, that's still one of their primary focuses, and we need to be responsive to them, and we need to help the state thrive with their participation. So thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, I think one of the things we sometimes overlook, and retention is a lot in regard to what our student head count and all. Retention is extremely important. We want to keep the students we have, and it's easier to keep the students we have than to have to go out and recruit new students, not to mention that we have a commitment to the students we have. So I think the retention efforts really are crucial to what we're doing. So again, thank you for that. We've completed the agenda. Any other comments for the good and welfare of the cause before I ask for a motion to adjourn?
Good.
Okay, seeing none, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So move.
This is always the most popular motion, I think. Is there a second? A second, I assume.
Second.
All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? I want to thank everybody for their participation today. I think we learned a great deal from what we saw, what the provost had to report about what is happening on the campus. I think it really it illuminates the work that the regents are doing. So I want to thank both the new and veteran provosts for their work with this committee, and see you in the next month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
And with that, the live stream has ended.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yep. All right. I'll take my